Hey, what's up? It's Comic95 the Savior, and for this video, I will be giving you 13 reasons why I personally like Japanese men. So this is going to be a very different tone from previous videos on my channel. So I first want to clarify my honest reason for this video. It's because I previously recorded a video on 13 reasons why I won't say it. I don't remember the title. You'll see later. Basically why you shouldn't like Japanese guys, why I don't like them, whatever. But basically that video was to address fetishizing things that girls seem to say in my comment section on videos in which I'm giving advice on dating people in Japan, in which it's just girls screaming, oh my god, I love Japanese guys, blah blah blah, and giving all of these reasons why they don't like men of their own race. So it's hard for me to explain it, but the purpose of my videos are not to fetishize or encourage people to specifically date a certain race, but rather to talk about cultural differences within a different race based on the country that I live in. So let's get some things out of the way. Asians are not minorities, especially not when you're in Asia. I live in Japan. The majority of people are Japanese. Obviously, it's a lot harder to date a foreigner, especially a black person and a black American at that, when not only are you abroad, but in a country in which, let's be real, most black people aren't necessarily keen towards or to moving, living, staying in for life, basically. I'm not going to get into statistics and numbers with you. You can do your own research and figure that stuff out on your own, like how I have. That will make this video too long. It's already going to be lengthy. So yeah, getting that out of the way. This is not a video to promote fetishizing after any particular race. That is stupid. Rather, this video is to balance out the negativity. Since I am going to talk about 30 reasons why your fetish is stupid, I will give 30 reasons why not to support your fetish, but rather to support Japanese people. Being realistic, there are of course things that you can like and or dislike about races in general. For example, I can be real. One of the things that I like about dating black guys is, well, they're funny. Okay. That could be a stereotype. Black people are seen as always having to be the athletic, funny, twerking, whatever type thing. But I can be honest with myself and say that when I've dated black people, I most certainly did have a good time. I enjoyed myself. I found that they were more outgoing, they were more fun, they were more athletic, they were, interesting, entertaining. And not to go into that stereotype, but just being real about my personal experience dating black people. I am a black woman. So I'm not going to go back and forth with you to balance everything out. I don't make politically correct videos. If you've been on my channel for a minute, you already know this. I'm going too far into this, so yeah, let me get off of that part. The second thing that I want to say is, of course, as always, men are men. No matter what country, what nationality, what race, whatever, there will be little differences from culture to culture, person to person, but in general, there are some things that apply to all men. I don't need your Captain Obvious comments like, well, actually, black guys can do this too, or actually, white guys or Hispanic men and blah, blah, blah. I know, sweetheart, nobody asked you. This video is specifically about Japan, Japanese men, and my personal opinion, meaning what I think and I feel. No one asked you. No one said you have to agree with me. This is my opinion, how I feel when I date Japanese people. You are free and more than welcome to say and think whatever you want to, but that doesn't mean that I have to actually listen to you nor keep your ignorance on my channel. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, once again, this is not a video to promote you girls to go crazy in the comments like, oh my god, I love Japanese guys. Oh my god, I want to suck their dick so bad. This is not that type of video. But my channel is also not a place to run around and pick it and just hate people because of their race. I'm smart enough to know better than to stereotype and or judge everyone and say everyone is bad or everyone is good. And just as that is so, please keep in mind that all of these tips do not apply to every Japanese man. I have plenty of videos that discuss the topic of fuckboys and bad guys, etc., which obviously these tips, these points, these whatever, would not apply to these people. This is talking about serious, real, legitimate relationships, not one-night stands, not flings, not your Tinder dates, not the guy that you met at the club, not the host guy, etc. This is not about those people. Thus, if you're trying to talk about those people, of course, the things on my list of reasons why I like Japanese men most certainly would not apply to the average man here, if the average man for you is the guys that you've met on Tinder or the guys that you've met at the train station or wherever else. So yeah, I also want to clarify that too. This is not for this video, but I want to say this anyway. the same men that you meet in person are the same type of people online. I don't know why people have in their mindset that there's like some secret hidden generation of people that are on the online world. So for those of you that think, oh, well, you can avoid bad people by not doing online dating, that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, if anything, you're giving yourself a higher chance of meeting serious and good people by considering online dating, because you get to see and meet people you would otherwise never cross paths with in real life. You also can see what people are like before you waste your time and go out on a date with them. Of course, people can choose to present to you whatever they want to and make themselves out to be a good person when they're really bad, but that's all a whole nother story. People can do that same thing in real life too. You can run into a guy at the train station or at the grocery store that isn't wearing a wedding ring, that's dressed up in suit and tie. Turns out that he's working for the Yakuza and he's, been divorced 3 times and has 4 kids. So yeah, we're not going to get into that. Let's go ahead and get started with this video. So, number 1, again in no particular order, number 1, Japanese men are handsome. I find them to be sexy. Once again, balance it out. I'm not going to do this anymore. Are there sexy, handsome men in other races? Yes, but we're specifically talking about Japanese. A lot of Japanese men, Asian men in general, think that foreign women, black, white girls, whatever, don't find them attractive because of stereotypes about their penis size, as well as their behavior, being feminine, and blah, blah, blah. But I don't agree with any of that stuff. Don't get me wrong. Yes, I have met people that do fall into those categories. But again, I don't run around stereotyping people, nor do I hold a ruler to people's dicks out in public. So this does not apply to me. I don't care about this type of stuff. With that said and done, regardless of penile size, hot is hot, attractive is attractive, regardless of what you got going on inside your pants. If you have a cute face, you have a nice looking body, you're hot to me. Okay, with that said, I see a lot of handsome men here. There's some really attractive guys. Simple as that. I see a hot guy, I like a hot guy. I'm not a racist. I do not care if you are Asian. I do not care if you... Maybe I do care if you're white. Okay, I do not care if you're white. I don't care if you're black. I don't care about anything else. And with that said, I don't care. Hot guy is hot guy. And it just blows Japanese people away. They're like, oh my God, you like Japanese guys? Your ex was a Japanese, or you have a Japanese boyfriend? Things like that. And it's yeah, I'm not a racist. But then again, after having lived here for a while, I can honestly tell you the majority of foreign women that I've befriended, talked to, and or met do not like Asian men at all. And it seems like a lot of the girls that are even married to one, it was strictly for visa purposes, which of course now they conveniently like Asian men. But I highly doubt that if they could live here without the need for getting a spouse visa from them, I'm stuttering. I wonder how many marriages between foreign women and Japanese men would actually exist. But that's all a whole nother story and not for this video. So let's move on. Number 2, they're educated. Again, I hate to be stereotyping whatever, but just keeping it real. In Japan, I think I actually looked at the statistics on this. I don't know the exact number. You can search this. There's definitely a lot more people here that are college educated in comparison to the US. Do not get me wrong. You do not need to have a bachelor's degree to be smart and or to be well off and to have money. But let's be realistic. It's pretty much a shortcut to guarantee that you kind of have those things. Someone without a degree typically has to work significantly harder in order to make it in this world versus someone that does have one. Not to mention it kind of shows your commitment to education, and to me it's so much more than just making money. There's a lot that you learn through university that you do not learn by going to high school and junior high school, or just studying and reading books on your own. That's all a whole other story. But just being real, for me personally, I like men that are educated. I find it to be hot, sexy, attractive, and I love the fact that knowing that the majority of people that I'm going to date, that I have dated, I feel like they're more intellectual, whatever. I can have deep conversations with them. They've been to school before. A lot of them are well traveled. They know a lot. Does this go for everybody? Absolutely not. Some of the most ignorant, racist, bad things I've heard out of somebody's mouth has come from a Japanese man. But that's a whole nother story. We're not talking about the bad. I'm talking about the good. You will see in my other video that some of these things contradict themselves because I have the reverse listed on my video for 13 reasons why you're fetish or whatever. It's stupid. But we're going to keep this video on the positive side, so we'll talk about the bad things later. In a nutshell, I like the fact that a lot of guys here have a college degree, they're educated, they're smart, they know their stuff, and this also helps them in other fields such as, securing housing, securing a good job. A lot of them are, bilingual, or at least have some type of, English ability, etc. In the US, I've never dated somebody that was bilingual. I've never dated somebody that could speak Spanish or any other foreign language. Like, that was just unheard of. A lot of the people that I dated, didn't have a degree, had no interest in going to school. Like, even as an adult, like, it seems like everybody just wants to take the shortcut, in life. Everybody wants to instantly make money and get famous online, but have no interest in doing anything, career related, really, so to speak, like, unless it had to do with being a rapper or something, which none of my friends have successfully gotten there. And if you do, don't forget me. Forget about this video. But that's another story. We're not going to talk about that. Number 3, they're well groomed. Japanese men take good care of themselves. They bathe often. They are clean. They keep their nails nice and, trimmed, etc. They take really good care of their hair. They smell nice. They don't see a lot of the stuff that we consider as being gay or feminine or, whatever. Like, it's seen as totally normal here. It doesn't change or question, their masculinity or whatever, which I like that a lot of the guys here are comfortable with those things. I'm someone who, as I said before, is attracted to, I guess, what is referred to as being metrosexual men, which are men who aren't necessarily gay per se or bisexual, but simply a guy that basically takes care of himself, likes fashion, etc. I have no idea why that ever became a gay versus straight thing or a political thing, but whatever. That's how it is where I'm from. I'm in Chicago and or in the US in particular. A man that, spends a lot of time doing his hair, color coordinated, nice outfit, ironing his clothes, using fabric softener. You're seen as being a little and yeah, it kind of, as a girl, people are going to be clowning your man, etc. I think that's really stupid. How does wanting to take care of yourself make you gay? Like, I don't get that, but whatever. Back on subject. Number 4, kind of piggybacking off of number 3, they're fashionable. Oh my God. One of the biggest turn-ons for me is a man in a suit and tie. I can literally have an orgasm every day here just by commuting to work. I absolutely love seeing the salarymen here, the hot ones. Like, especially if you go to like Umeda Station, Yodobashi Station. Is it Yoroyabashi or Yodobashi? I forget. Yoroyabashi? Whatever you call that station on the Midosuji line, there. And Namba have like the most sexy guys. Basically anywhere where there's a lot of people. When I lived in Tokyo, it was definitely Ikebukuro and Shinjuku Station, you see, and Shibuya. So all of the places where there's basically a ton of men, you're gonna come across some super, super, super hot, sexy men. And nothing is better than a man in a suit and tie. And this is just regular apparel for them going to work. Like, in the US, you don't normally see people like fully dressed up, suit and tie, unless they have like a super nice job. Your guy can be working at like some super crappy office job and he still has to wear a suit and tie every day, but who cares? He looks hot. It's super sexy. Even like on the weekends, like when they wear like streetwear or whatever type of fashionable clothing, they just look really, really good. I absolutely love men who are fashionable. And yeah, most Japanese men do care about fashion. They do try to dress nicely. There most certainly are some bums here, but again, I'm keeping it on the positive side and talking about the majority of people, which the majority of Japanese men most certainly are fashionable for sure. Number 5, they're family oriented. Of course, as always, does not go for everyone, but I will say that honestly, the majority of men here do have interest in getting married and or having kids. They care about their family, they take care of them, and they want to have and start their own family and take care of you and your children. So yeah, super attractive thing for me. I'm someone who's personally family oriented. I care a lot about that. I find it really hot if a guy's family oriented, and I find that generally most men here are. They don't want to just play around. They don't just see, having children or getting married as, a liability or a loss of money, like how a lot of guys nowadays in the US feel. And I personally really like this about Japanese men. Number 6, they're great at planning dates. So of course, once again, as everything on this list goes, there's always exceptions to the rule. But if he's serious about you, he most certainly will be good with planning dates for the two of you. He will know where the best place to go in town to get whatever type of food you like is, and or he will find it, get recommendations. He will, make reservations for you. He really puts a lot of thought and effort into your dates. It's not just oh, what do you want to eat? I don't know. Well, I don't know what to eat. Tell me what you want to eat. And then you guys end up stopping at like Wendy's or something. Like, he's not going to do you bogus like that. He's going to find a nice place for you guys to eat at. He's going to want to find somewhere nice to go for a walk at and take pictures and do shopping at, etc. Like, he really plans out the whole day, weekend, night, whatever you have together. He might even choose somewhere to go sightseeing with you. Like, he authentically really does care about trying to make sure that you enjoy yourself, have a good time, and a memorable experience. He'll even do like little things like, you know, try to buy you a souvenir or something from the place that you visit. So I personally really, really like that. My fiance, for example, anytime we go somewhere, I don't even have to ask him. Like, he finds somewhere to buy me a souvenir from. And if he can't find a souvenir for me, he like freaks out and I have to like calm down. Dude, I don't need something. But he will not listen to me. We will not leave until he gets me a souvenir. It's either going to be a magnet, a keychain, a wallet, something. He has to buy me something. And it's not a matter of me wanting to use or abuse him. This is his own little thing. And I find it really cute because it's something that I would do. So yeah, I really like that about guys here. It's not just my fiance, but other guys have done this for me as well. And again, like, it's in different ways. Everybody's not a souvenir whore per se, but you will definitely pretty much exclusively, if they're serious about you, only date guys that want to like show you the best. You say you like yakiniku, they're not going to find some discount 2,000 yen place. They're going to find somewhere to get you premium cut meat where it's going to be like $50-$60 per person. Like, he's going to go all out for you. Number 7, they're thoughtful and they have a great memory. Every little thing that you tell him, he's going to remember about you. You tell him that you like Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, just briefly mention the conversation. He'll show up with, you know, a souvenir for you that has, you know, a little token of that, like a keychain, like my boyfriend did for me. Just small things like that. You tell them that your favorite color is pink. You mention it, you know, subtly in the conversation or whatever. Like, you don't have to be like super direct about what you like and don't like. Even like the little subtle things that you say, they'll remember. You say you don't like something, they'll try to avoid it. You like something, they'll try to give it to you. They really like try to memorize every little thing about you, and I absolutely love that because it comes up later on and you're like, dude, you're actually listening to me. I didn't know you actually remembered me saying that. So yeah, I've told my boyfriend what my favorite movies were, and he's literally like gone out and rented the movie for me. And I'm like, how did you remember? Like, it doesn't even have the same name in Japanese. Like, how did you remember that? I sent that like 6 months ago. And he's like, yeah, I've been meaning to find this movie for you. I wanted to rent it so we could watch it together. Like, just little things like that. I absolutely love that. Not to say that American men don't do this too, but I find that this happens a lot more so in Japan. And I think it's more of a common thing and not just individualized to a particular guy. Again, I'm not just talking about my boyfriend, but obviously I've been with him longer than anyone else. So I am, but he's definitely not the only person that has done this for me, and definitely not my friends who have, I hope, never dated my boyfriend. So yeah. Number 8, they are punctual. They respect time. Of course, you can date the, you know, a-hole guy that is super American, as if you will, as they would say, and basically doesn't respect time and is just like, yeah, I get there when I get there. I'll be there 12:30-ish type guy. But no, normally if you make any plans with this dude, he's going to be there at least on time, if not several minutes early. Typically when I've gone on dates with guys, they normally try to arrive somewhere between at least about 5 to 10 minutes earlier than whatever time you have set. They really authentically want to see you and want to spend every minute with you. They respect your time. They do not like to be late. And if they are, they will apologize profusely and have some sort of good excuse for why they are running late. They really, really care about your time and theirs. Number 9, they're career driven and motivated. No, I'm not talking about the sleazy salary man that's super tired and being overworked, but rather the guy that really cares about getting ahead at work. He really cares about his job. He really wants to have a legitimate career. He's not trying to do little side hustles and be the next big rapper, whatever type thing, make music on SoundCloud. Not to say that these people cannot make money doing that. No hate, no shade, no nothing towards that. But just being realistic. When you're grown and you want to get married and you want to have children, etc., you don't want to date somebody with a what if this happens, or, you know, the hustler type guy. I'm sorry, that's just not for me. For some girls, they're okay with that. Hate to stereotype, but just being real, as a Black woman, I found this to be extremely common in my community as a Chicagoan. Almost every guy that you talk to, he's not going to college, has no intention in going. He would rather drive for Uber Eats and try to sell his crappy xylophone beats, you know, CD to everybody and make 0 sales and blow all his money smoking kush. And that's just not for me. For some other girls, they're okay with that, but I most certainly am not. I don't like struggle love. I find it attractive if a guy is serious about his work, serious about, his job. I am someone that does the same thing. I go my periods of time where I've gone without a job, where I've made low money, etc. But I'm always working to, realistically get myself to a level and a point where I can make more money. For example, this YouTube channel right now, I would love to do this full time and just be a YouTuber, but I'm realistic with myself. I am not making enough money where I can just stop working and just do this. And I'm not living in a country that, permits me to use YouTube as my, at least not to my knowledge, as my salary to support my visa per se either. And with all of that said, yeah, like I can do both at the same time. And if that's what he wants to do, then that's totally fine with me. But the problem is, in my home country, that's not the experience. A guy either does one or the other. Either he's trying to climb his way up the career ladder, which is rare in my experience, or you have the guy that is set on the fact that he's going to become the next Lil Wayne, and you're a hater if you don't support him, etc. So, not going to get into that, not trying to pit black versus Japanese people. I'm just being real and talking about my own dating experience and saying that, look, I personally didn't like this in my home country. I like the fact that men here are realistic. They go to college, they get a degree, they get a job, they work their way up to a higher salary. They want to have support and provide for their wife and kids. Simple. I love it. Just saying. Number 10, they're generous with money and gifts. So as somebody that is personally someone that, throws money and gifts at people that I love, like, and care for, I absolutely love to have that favor returned. I've definitely dated guys who did not do that, and I ended up basically playing sugar mama for them. And it feels so good to have somebody that does the same thing back for me in turn. Even guys that I didn't date for that long, I definitely have pretty much gotten gifts from pretty much every guy that I've ever dated without having to do anything sexual for them too, might I add. If he's serious about you, he's going to buy you gifts. Whether it be little small things or something more expensive if you've been dating for a moment. He will show you that he does care about you and love you. I literally got a necklace from my boyfriend because this is going to sound, I'm not going to go into detail about what happened. Long story short, he was joking, and he landed a joke on me that honestly kind of hit a nerve, and it made me cry, and he freaked out over it. And what did he do? The next day, he took me out for every meal, took me shopping. He literally went on a huge shopping spree for me and let me buy whatever he got for me, whatever I wanted, and insisted on buying me new earrings and a new necklace. And it just made me so happy. And of course, I didn't abuse it. I didn't let him buy me anything too expensive, but it just made me really happy. I never dated somebody like that before in the US. Normally in the US, you date somebody, they're, penny pinching and wanting to split bills with you, and they don't want to have to pay for the whole date. And if they do, then they feel like, you owe him type thing. And no, when I go out with guys here, they feel embarrassed if they have to split the bill with you, and God forbid you try to pay for the whole thing. So of course, if you've been dating for a long time, that's fine to do, but definitely not early on in the relationship. So yeah, basically I like the fact that guys are generous, both with their money and with the gifts that they give you. They don't, keep tabs on how much they've done for you. They just really want to take care of you. They really want to make you happy. They want to buy you things that they know you will enjoy and or like. Number 11, they're appreciative and pay attention to detail. When you date somebody here, they most certainly notice everything. You change your hairstyle, wear a different outfit, your makeup looks a little different. He will compliment the crap out of you, tell you how beautiful, sexy, wonderful you are, how happy he is to have you as his girlfriend. You do him a favor, he'll notice what you did for him. He'll notice and appreciate the fact that you folded his laundry, or that you made him dinner and it must have taken you so long to cook this for him. And he'll just constantly thank you and be so appreciative of it. He'll eat every last bite and tell his friends, about what his girlfriend did for him, and take pictures and show them, and it just makes me feel so happy, so loved, and so appreciated. I absolutely love that about dating Japanese men here. They do not take you for granted. They show their appreciation for you by thanking you for all that you do and just making you feel like the most perfect, best person in the world. They notice everything, not just from your appearance, but the things that you go out of your way to do for them. They take note of and appreciate it. You clean up after him, because he made a mess in the bathroom, he left, I don't know, hair all over the sink from shaving himself, or he left the shower dirty, or he didn't, clean up the bathroom floor and got water everywhere. Just little things like that. He'll thank you for that. You clean the kitchen, you take out the trash, anything that you do, he will notice, he will thank you, he's appreciative of it, and he notices the effort that you put in to try to make him happy too. So I really love that. It motivates me to do more for my man, and I find that that's something that I find to be a little bit unique to Japan. In general, the average man, I would say, does this. Not that men in the US cannot and do not do this. Like I said, a lot of this applies to men anywhere, but I'm specifically talking about Japan and Japanese men. Number 12, this is going to make some people cringe, but I'm going to say anyway, they're old-fashioned. I actually like this, even though I know a lot of people don't, and this is complained about. And I sometimes have mixed feelings on this too, as I've said before. But what I mean by old-fashioned is gender roles and things like that are totally normal and common here. As someone that does intend to be a stay-at-home wife, mom, whatever, eventually, I do like that. I have no problem with gender roles. However, I will say that I play a little bit on both sides. I do ultimately want to work, and it's not a matter of like a fear of getting a divorce or being single again, but rather I like having my own money so that I can take care of other people without having to use someone else's money, if that makes sense. For example, I think it's really weird to, buy gifts or things for my man with his money. So for example, when Valentine's Day comes up or Christmas or, whatever, his birthday, I'm just using the allowance that he basically gave me to buy him stuff. I would rather work for my own money and be able to buy and support things for my family myself. I don't intend to make more money than him. I'm not going to, but at least I don't think I will. I want to be able to take care of him and get nice things for him with my own money that I worked for, excuse my notification, that I worked for, by myself. So that's something that personally makes me feel really happy and that I would want. But at the same time, I don't like that in the US. A lot of the times nowadays, guys are like, oh, she needs to work too, or I'm not working all day for this, that, and the other. You want to be equals, blah, blah, blah. It's like men speak out of both sides of their mouth. They claim to hate feminists and feminism, but at the same time, they want women to do the same stuff as men as well, which is working. So I'm someone that does want to work, so it doesn't really hurt me per se, but at the same time, I like the fact that I feel like there's more of an option here. I'm not expected to work by a Japanese man. I'm not expected to split things in half by a Japanese man. But at the same time, I don't feel pressure to not, split things in half. For example, I think overall, there are some things that we disagree with, but overall, my fiance is totally fine with the thought of me working. He doesn't really like it, but more so because he feels like, I don't want you to, do too much per se, because we've already decided that when we do have children, mainly because of my own 2 cents, my opinion on daycare and stuff here, that it will be a mix between me and his family helping to raise our children. But at the same time, he is worried about that. I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole nother story, because he feels like if I'm working, that's too much to do at the same time, simultaneously, not realistic, which is true, but I have other plans for that, and I'm not going to go into my details on my plans in this video. That's irrelevant. But long story short, yeah, besides the whole daycare aspect, I feel like long term, there's no issue with me working. There's not a problem. But at the same time, there's no issue if I decide that I never want to go back to work. There won't be any resentfulness or whatever from my man. Whereas in the US, it's you need to be some 10-star looking girl and just be everything in the world for him. And you need to do all the cooking, all the cleaning, raise the kids, everything, if you're expecting not to work. And even then, it's not enough, because then the man will feel like, well, you're just going to eat off of my penny type thing. Whereas in Japan, that's what your man wants to do for you. He wants to take care of you. He wants to provide for you. He wants to show you that he loves you by taking care of you. So yeah, that's kind of standard, normal here per se. And last but not least, number 13, they're great sexual partners. Throw everything out the window about Japanese guys having small you-know-whats inside and the other. This is not to say that on average men do not, because as I've said before, just being real, yeah, they are smaller on average. But that is not true for everyone. And trust me, when you get the guys that have the full package going on, it is definitely worth it. And with that said, Japanese guys are definitely not shy in bed at all. They want to make you feel good. They are very selfless. They love to focus on things like foreplay. They're great kissers. They will press buttons you didn't know existed. That's all I have to say. I have done some pretty weird, freaky stuff with guys here that I have never done in the US, and I probably would never be willing to do, just simply because of the fact that I find men in my home country to not be as clean per se. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun. That's all I'm gonna say. And with that said, yeah, they're great sexual partners. They make you feel good. They want to make sure that you feel good when you do those things. It's not just about them. And I absolutely love that. I like that they're dominant. I like that they're great kissers. I like that they want to make you feel good. I like everything about it. Like, it literally, like, it feels like you're paying this guy. Like, you forget that he's your boyfriend. So yeah, it's great. And the other good thing too is I feel like for a lot of these guys, like, I hate to stereotype, but just being real, for a lot of them, they're so used to dating Japanese girls or having a Japanese wife that didn't particularly enjoy doing these type of activities together so much. And I hate to be the stereotypical foreigner, but just being real, hey, I like to do these things with my man. And with that said, yeah, like, he will definitely love that about you, and you most certainly will get to do those things quite a lot. You will experiment with things. Anything you want him to do, anything you want him to do, he will do. And we'll just leave it at that. So yeah, those are my 13 reasons why I like Japanese men in a nutshell. I like all men. I don't care what country you're from, what nationality you are, you know, it doesn't matter. If you are a hot guy, you treat me well, you're thoughtful, you're funny, you're tall, I do not give a crap. Like, men are literally men. There's no magical difference between Japanese men and foreign men. Everything is really just a matter of culture, how you've been raised and taught, and what, you know, you've been told you're supposed to do as a man and or as a woman. And that's what ultimately makes the differences between us dating. However, as far as appearance and looks goes, there are just as many hot black men as I see hot Japanese guys. There's no real difference. The difference really comes down to culture. Japanese guys typically dress nicer because here culturally men are expected to wear a suit and tie, etc. to work. There's also more educated men in Japan than in the US, so that goes for both black and white guys. Again, like, when it comes to other things, there are tons of things I could think of on the negative side that I do not like, just like how there's tons of things I could think of on the positive side that I do like. This is not a race war to pit which race of men are better than the other type thing, but rather I wanted to say something positive and talk about what goes on inside my little mind. Japanese people are commonly shocked at the thought or fact that I'm willing to date them, and I think a lot of foreigners are too. I get messages from black and white guys all the time telling me that I need, you know, some black eggplant or some white eggplant, or telling me how big, you know, their mushroom is type thing, and basically implying that, you know, I can't be having a good time here in Japan with these little men. But that is not true. All Japanese men are most certainly not small. I would know. And on top of that, I mean, what good does it do to be big if you dirty, your stuff stank, and you got fungus growing underneath your foreskin? So we're not going to talk about that here. I'm done with this video. That's that. Stay tuned and you will see my video on 13 reasons why your fetish is stupid. For those of you that are slobbering over Japanese men and think, oh my god, men from my country are awful, I can only date Japanese men, this is why I'm so attracted to them, blah blah blah, I have a video for you coming very soon. So that's that. Thank you so much for watching. If you're living in Japan or not, and maybe you want to share some reasons that you like Japanese men, some things that you do like about them, please feel free to share them down in the comments below. Please keep it clean. Don't say anything inappropriate, anything racist, etc. We're not going there. This is not about stereotyping people to be negative, rude, whatever. If you don't like Asian men, then keep it to yourself. Nobody asked you. So, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, leave a comment down below, tell me what you think, add in anything else you would like to mention. As always, you can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at comic95. I also have a Snapchat, comic the Savior, I think, at Comic the Savior. The links for everything are in the description below if I gave you the wrong name for something. And you can also like my Facebook fan page at comic95 the Savior. And visit my website. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.